3, 2, 1. We are back. We are rolling. What is up, Strange Crew?
Welcome to volume 141. I'm Cherise Letson.
I'm Kate Milbury.
Bet you didn't think this was going to happen. Sorry. It's been a while. We've been busy.
How's everybody doing? Anyways, let's catch up for a few minutes. What's up?
Yes.
We're back. We're alive. We had a really good trip. We've been hearing all of your comments and your DMs and your questions on the streets and at events, and we've been at them. And honestly, we've just been kind of giving so we haven't really had a lot of time to honestly sit down and talk about it. So that's what we're doing today. So we just want to chat for a second. The trip was really good. Obviously, if you followed along, you probably seen that we had a really full experience like we did prior in March, and that was a lot of fun. We not here at the moment right now is our travel companion Anna, so she'll be here on the next episode, so you'll want to keep a bookmark for that. But we had an idea of some of the things that we were going to do there, but obviously it's not about what you know or what you think you're going to do. It's about who you know and what they might be able to kind of rile up for you. So obviously you guys know we were going there to see Pamela again and to kind of hang out, see her, and just honestly just connect with her a little bit more instead of it always being remote. It was a really, really good time. I think Cherise could probably say the same thing, but we wholeheartedly had just such a trip of a lifetime for that, and really made new friends, forever friends, which is really cool. And, just being back, I think it just gives us a sense of why we started the show and why we actually hang out and why we're wanting to travel together or like talk to you about what the hell's going on the show. So I don't know, like Cherise, like what would you say? Like, I don't know, what was something that you thought like prior to going on the trip that maybe changed by the time you got back that maybe like the audience wouldn't think of?
I think I expected, we know we went to the event to like help Pamela. She was doing her big event at the whiskey.
Yeah.
And we knew it was her 75th birthday, and we knew we were going to, attend the party, help her set up beforehand, help out however we can, at the event. But I think it's just, I think what really shocked me is like, I didn't really know what to expect going into the Whiskey A Go-Go where the event was held. Like, I don't know if you felt the same way. Like we've seen pictures and we've seen.
I think even like just to go on that a little bit more, like when we went in March, that was not something that we had really.
We went outside it on the rock tour.
But even then, like that was very monumental. Like I'd been there once before and like I was so excited for us to go. So being in the entranceway and hearing Miss Pamela talk about being there and meeting Mario and being able to get in for free and bringing all the people into dance, that was really cool. But I never thought, like we had looked all the time to see if there were like metal bands, playing at like the whiskey while we were there. And there wasn't like at the time.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I got the ginger ale burps.
We're
We're keeping it real
organic.
now. I don't know if you like this new format of what we've got going on.
Too bad we're keeping it. I'm comfier.
But what was kind of crazy is just like us, being there. And then I think it's like maybe if you play sports or if you're just like anticipating something, even if it's like a new job or I don't know, it could be something very small, but I think there's so much that you can proactively think and prepare for and like get ready for. But then when you get in there, like I'll tell you something, one of my favorite things about the trip at the whiskey, their food. Had no idea there was a menu. Best chicken fingers I've ever had in my life. And I bet you didn't think you'd learn that on this podcast.
Can confirm the chicken tendies are A++.
Curly fries. It was phenomenal. We got double baskets of all. It was phenomenal. But that's the kind of stuff that when you're excited to see something, you might miss those little tiny details. And for us, like, guys, this was pretty crazy. Like, I think if we're going to go back, like, let's go back a little bit. And, aside from us knowing, like Cherie said, that we were going to the whiskey and just like going to hang out, I think for us, it really brought us out of the zone that we were there to see someone and to help someone that we fully admire and respect, but also the fact that it was fucking cool that we were able to be there.
And the people that were in that room too, like one of the most shocking things that I almost, like I texted you because you were up by the merch booth and I was taking photos and video down. Nick St. Nicholas, the bass player of Steppenwolf, was in the audience.
Yeah, and you're a huge fan.
I'm a huge Steppenwolf fan.
But those
and
are things.
and he stood up and I was like, oh my God, like what the fuck?
Now, honestly, like 3 or 4 years ago, we wouldn't have been so busy that Charisse probably would have said there's a chance he could be at that event. But I think that that's the thing when you get caught up in the good is you have those nice little surprises. And I think just like Miss Pamela too, she was surprised to see people because it's not like she knew who was coming. You never know who can make it, right? So I think it was a genuine surprise for us and a genuine surprise for the people that went. And I think if you were watching or you were like, what the hell are they doing? Why are they going back? Who is this Miss Pamela? I think if we're going to go back, if you haven't listened to any of our other episodes, go check them out. But the fine details of it all is that Miss Pamela Des Barres is a renowned author, storyteller, all about rock and roll, her experience in the industry, growing up in California, empowering people today to talk and tell stories, which is something that Charisse and I both very much do today. So to have someone that we've read her books and, to have met her back in March and to be out there now, it was just completely it was like we had to pause for a second. It was like we were the Kate and Charisse that went for Strange Grooves and we were there. And then we had to go, holy fucking shit. Jim Morrison played right there. Alice Cooper went up those stairs. Slash just did a What's in My Gear last week with a couple of the guys from like the LA. Like, it's insane if you really stop to think for a second. Charisse and I had to do that. We had to say, wait.
Remember where we are.
Check-in moment. Remember what's happening right now. And I think that was so... that's why it's taken us a couple weeks to articulate what's happened. It's easy for us to kind of show maybe on the fly, but really it's been taking a little bit for us to like.
It was a spiritual thing for, I don't know if you can like it. That sounds corny, but it just sort of, it's coming back from that. I don't know. It sort of just changed my perspective and
on a lot of things too.
Yeah. And just,
on a lot of things.
And the idea of, like, I don't know if you felt this too, but like being in the whiskey and when we got to actually stand on the stage, thank you, Keith St. John, for that. It's almost like, I don't know if you felt it. Maybe I'm too woo woo, but like I felt like the energy.
Oh, I did too, man.
Of like everyone.
System of a Down had their very first show at the Whiskey A Go Go. Like there's so many people aside from the classic rock that makes a lot of who we are and the things that we like. But if you think about a lot of like the new metal bands, like the new bands today, even like Miley Cyrus just played there a few months ago. It's still, it is a club for 500 people. These booths have like some crazy shit has gone down, good and bad, right? Yep. But for us to have gone up there and it was honestly just like we were going to Callahan's or we were going down to Pepper's or something. Like it was just very chill. Everyone was so kind. It was a very nice layout. The bar staff was phenomenal. It was just really, really nice. And it felt like something just completely magical that we were there. And I know that might sound, I don't know, tell us to fuck off. I was do what emotional. You want. But it was wild. And, the night, so let's go back a little bit. We kind of know the flight. We kind of know what's going on. We kind of know where we're going. But it's kind of cool when you start going to a place a little more frequently, even if it is only twice. But you start to know the places or like that place that we went to that other time. And Charisse and I we were excited to show Anna a lot of the, the different sites and the things that we had seen that we knew were already fucking dope to check out. And I think in the time like that we were there, also, it's hot as balls in California.
Oh, it was like
It's like 42 degrees on the day that we were at Miss Pamela's house, sifting through her closet of like hundreds and hundreds of vintage clothes.
I had a cute little velvet dress on. It reminded me of her Foxy Lady dress. And I'm like, this was a mistake. But I had to like.
I wore all black. It was all goth girls in California. And then it wasn't funny anymore.
No, you got to dress accordingly.
My blush was down. Here, it was just a whole scenario.
But it was worth it.
It was so worth it.
So fun.
I had a great time. The band was awesome.
And seeing her dance like to the band, like she has that love and passion for live.
We're gonna roll the clip right here of Pamela dancing.
And we might be in that clip too. I don't know which one you're gonna use.
Roll this clip of us dancing right now.
such a magical vibe, and like everyone there was just that we talked to was just chill.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed, and everything about LA was everyone asks, like, and you know how, like, you know, people like here talk about the weather or something like that. Everyone asks you what like your zodiac sign is.
Always. And I don't know if it's just like a way to get like tips or what it is, because like they must think that people, I think it's a sales thing.
I thought it was a sales thing too, but Nicole, our friend Nicole at the Rainbow, remember, she asked us, and I was like, okay, maybe this isn't like a thing to pick up chicks.
Yeah, but I think that there's like a sense of like people that know it authentically, and then there's people who use it because they know people like us, and they're like, oh, like what's your rising sign? And you're just like, oh my goodness. Okay, so let's talk about it for a sec. We were at Craig's, one of our favorite places on the planet to have dinner. God, I sound like such an asshole.
Like everyone's gonna be like, everyone's just tuning out right now. They're just
like, unsubscribe, goodbye, or maybe you're really subscribing now. I don't know, but
I don't care. It's our show.
All that to say, we went to Craig's. It was an awesome time. We were hanging around. We saw Justin Bieber, Haley Ball. We saw lots of different people there. It was a good time. And we were just sitting there eating French fries and pizza and like giant sundaes.
Lots of wine.
Yeah, they had wines.
Oh yeah, Anna and I had the wines.
And it was good. And we were doing the things. And then, you know, of course, we were like, you know, it's Craig's time. Where was I going with that? I forget.
I don't know. We're talking about, oh yeah. So we were talking about zodiac signs. Our waiter
asked
our zodiac sign.
Yeah. And he was like, hey.
He's like, which one's a Scorpio in the group or something like that? Or was that?
We were just like, oh my goodness, our waiter's so nice. And see, sales right there. Tipped well, worked.
Well, he was great service too. Like anyone can ask your zodiac sign, but it was phenomenal service. Craig's is always top notch. So
it is true. Yeah. If you're ever in LA, honestly, obviously it's a giant place to go. Lots of places like overload, but for us, Craig's is a really interesting place to go because it's kind of like, how I compare it is like Swiss Chalet here. It's like a one level kind of place. It's got its kind of decor. It's got its booths, you know, it's things that make it its thing. You know, it's probably got Rick's booth from like a long time ago, you know, something like that. But here, you know, you might see Robert De Niro or like Cher and her like 20-something-year-old boyfriend. No shade, just like that's who it is.
That's who it is, yeah.
And you know, Kris Jenner, like Jojo Siwa was just there like the other night, and they were grilling her about like presidential like elections and stuff. And she was like, "What?" She was like, "I'm just trying to have dinner, man."
Man, like who would charge Jojo Siwa for political commentary?
No, but it was so funny. And her car with her big face was parked right outside. I thought I sent it to you, but it's just kind of funny, like
the wrong night.
Yeah. But yeah,
we saw Matt Healy there.
Yeah, fuck him.
And also, but the funny thing was, while he's there eating dinner, Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift's playing.
Yeah, so funny.
And I was just like, wait, that's Matt Healy. And then I was like, oh my God, who's playing right now? And we're just like,
yeah,
sucks to suck.
Yeah. And then obviously Craig came over and talked to us Canadian gals. And like, that was really nice. And let me just say, like, we went to a lot of places that we've gone before. It's kind of just something that I think it's because of me and my picky ass eating. And that's fine. It is what it is, right? But it's interesting because people recognized us. When we went back to the Beverly Hills Hotel, like people recognized us. Like it's so funny. Like,
yeah, the same waiters and stuff.
And it that to me is like when I go to Tops or like, you know, and I think that that's the part of it that makes me feel like home. Otherwise, like I really don't love to travel. I don't like to be out and away or to be gone for too long. And like, I like just to have like a good cup of coffee, you know, a chicken breast and some fries here and there, and like maybe some like bacon and eggs and like some chips. Give me potato chips and I'll live, right? But no, it was really good. And I think for Charisse and I, like we just had like a blast. We had a really good time. We went out biking. Like
that was the first time I rode a bike in like 17 years.
Yeah.
And I was very proud of myself.
I think that's like a big part of like getting away is like people, they'll bring different outfits or they'll do different things like parasailing or whatever when they go on vacation. And then I think what happens is you come home and you're like, I'm going to adopt these new styles or these new habits. And sometimes you do. And then sometimes like I'm wearing ginormous sunglasses that I like that have giant seashells on them for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, wait a second, I'm still wearing them. I'm just saying that, You might need to tone it down sometimes.
Oh man, I'm not going to adopt cycling in St. John. It is the most like
Active transportation, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see what council says.
Well, that's what I mean. Like we'd like to think we're a cyclable city, but we're not. First of all, there's a bunch of hills, and then the lanes, like the bike lanes, like everyone's just so hostile. So anyway, like it just was so cool going down.
Sorry, gotta interrupt. When I see the tourists trying to come up Princess Street from the bottom of Water Street on those scooters,
They sound like they're dying.
Well, the scooters don't have enough power to make it up that ginormous mountain. I'm like, go straight and then up less. Anyways.
Oh, no. Anyways, where was I going? Oh, yeah. So anyways, biking down Ocean Avenue was super cool. It was fun.
Yeah.
We have to give a shout out to before Hotel Irwin.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Hotel Irwin. If you're listening, I don't know if you are, but thank you so much.
Do we want to share what went down?
Sort of. Let's sort of talk about it.
It's really not that. We're making it sound super ominous, but
yeah, it's not that big of a deal. But you probably noticed that we had 2 different rooms while we were there, and that happened. But so we got there, and the room was great. We got a room last time on. So like if the Hotel Irwin is really long, and if this is the front of it and this is the back of it looks out onto like Venice Beach and like the boardwalk and stuff. So we kind of stayed halfway through the hotel on this side the first time. Mm-hmm. And then we were on this side this current time. And the room was decent. We still had a partial ocean view. It's not too bad. And like we're on Venice Beach. So like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So we're there. I noticed there was like a light flickering. No big deal. The next day, we went down. We were having just like a couple of things. It wasn't like an experience thing. It was just like a couple of things, right? And then we went out, we went to the beach, we did our thing, and I was just feeling off. It sucked. Sorry to my buds. I was feeling kind of shitty. And anyways, I got back up to the room, and I was like, I'm just going to take a shower it off, whatever. That way I can just like fix my fucking mood and like deal with it, right? And anyways, I'm like trying to use this blow dryer, and I'm like clicking the test reset button because like sometimes that happens with like the hotel blow dryers. Anyways, like Anna helps me get it, and like no sooner that I have it on, it's like smoking in my hand and like kind of like just like kind of shocked me like nothing crazy, but just
it
like
left
enough.
A mark on your hand.
Yeah, but I mean like it wasn't like too crazy. But if you know me, like I have a terrible like history of fires in my family, so like I don't fuck around with like shorts or like I don't even leave like a toaster plugged in at night. Like I just don't screw around with that. So anyways, like I like yelled to Sharice. I'm just like, I'm like literally almost naked. My towel almost fell off.
I heard like a screech.
Of course this would happen to me, right? And I'm just like,
Kate luck.
Oh my God. And of course, like me, usually I would just accept it. But like business Kate is like, well, we can't really stay here for 5 days, like if that's an issue. So anyways, they really, they helped us out, and they did get us into a new room, which had like a nice view. And shout out to them for helping accommodate us.
They're top notch service.
Because we're, 3 people. And then it was just really nice. Their staff got us like some reservations on top for a couple of nights in a row. So that was really nice. And if you're ever honestly going to California, and here's something else that I just want to say, because I do think it's worth noting. If you're wondering like, how the heck, like, are Kate and Sharice doing all this? Like, we look for travel deals, and like, shout out to like Air Canada sometimes, and to the St. John Airport for, keeping business and doing things in St. John, bringing the Airbus 319 to St. John for the next few months. That's been really helpful. And those flights have been about like $800 return, which sometimes you can't even get to Toronto for like $600-700. So we've been saving up and really like working to just try to like
hard. Like we're not just like, it's not.
If it was a couple grand, like, we wouldn't.
No.
But and I don't think that's really anyone's business.
It's really not. But like.
But I do think we have Patreon and we have things, and if you want to know, like a lot of that stuff literally pays for the gear. It pays for subscriptions, but essentially, like like we'll be going away at the end of the month to see Bob Dylan. We'll be going away in November overseas. Stay tuned for that. But that's all going through travel deals and brand collaborations and things like that. So it's not just
and working
us.
our ass off too. Yeah. You know what I mean?
On the marketing side.
On the marketing side, and like our own like hustling. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we just appreciate everyone's support with again with Patreon and helping.
And if you do want to give us money, we'll take it.
Patreon.com/Strange
Grooves. Yeah, we have lots of different rewards and like merch and different things on there. But one of the big things that we're really trying to do over the next 90 days, I would even say into 6 months is we want to have some more live podcasts like we did with Motherhood. We want to do some more live shows with like our buds, Ryan Stanley, with like Max Bijou, like just people that you guys have heard from that. It's kind of about bringing that ecosystem together. So as much as it is about building the brand in other places, we also want to still continue to foster what we've built here. We haven't even had time. It was last week,
I was about to say,
and we will go into it. But it was our 6-year anniversary, and we've been trying to figure out a way to do something really cool that is both kind of fun and celebratory for Strange Grooves, but maybe it doesn't have to be this big thing that not everybody wants to come out to a big dance party. Not everybody wants to come out to a live podcast. So we're going to have a slew of different events. And if people want to come out and see us or partake in the events or just dodge us completely and just come to the events, that's totally fine.
You don't need to talk to us. It's all right.
We're down with that. We're down with anything, honestly. Well, maybe not everything, but
just within reason.
You know what I'm saying? You guys don't
everything.
Don't make a
price,
meme
though.
about that, okay? Like Jesus. But anyways, yeah, like a big part for us, like that we've been really realizing is it is just about us. I have to remember to hold this closer. After doing this for 6 years, I still don't know how to hold the microphone close to my face. No, I'm just joking. No, but I just want to say like a big thank you, Anna, if you're listening. Thank you so much for coming, for making the trip, memorable and for,
helping us take
everything,
stuff,
like helping us like with at Pamela's and helping us like with just so many logistics, helping us with content. And, like we had a really good time and we definitely want to have her on the next episode of the show. You've definitely seen her at like a lot of the events and hanging out with us. And, we had such a good time when we went to see Les Claypool. This is kind of how this all came about. So we definitely want to have her on the show. So she'll be on the show next. And then the show after that, we'll probably be talking a little bit about Charisse, going to see Iggy Pop. We have a lot coming up.
We have a lot I have thoughts.
And, we have some tea. We have things that are happening, but we want to hear from you. What's up? How is your life? What do you want us to talk about?
What are you listening to?
What are you listening to? Do you want to be on the show? Do you want to call in? Call in. You can call in the show anytime. And, we'll chat with you. Tell us your thoughts. You want to rant at someone? Throw a plate? Do it on the air, man.
Yeah, man. We're here for you.
We're here for you. Every day. No, just on Wednesdays and through Instagram DMs if you send us a note. Yeah, and I think the other thing that we definitely want to get across too is a big part about us, turning 6 and trying to build the brand is like, we want to like realize what the hell has happened over the past 6 years and then also kind of push the momentum into doing more of that because, we do see the folks coming out to the live shows, both like the podcast formats and band shows. Mm-hmm. There's new venues opening. There's some that are closing. There's just a lot happening and it's important for people to know what is going on so that we can all equally support each other, not be redundant with certain efforts or certain things. And if we know who is coming through town, we can really help foster and bring audiences to their shows, right? And I think that's a big part of what we're trying to do and why we've been traveling, we want to meet lots of people. We want to go be on stage at the Whiskey A Go-Go if possible and stand where so many people that we love and respect and admire have stood, and to be up there right after Pamela was up there, after her dancing on that area so many different times. I think it was a very, very full circle event for so many people. And I don't know, Miss Pamela, if you're listening, I don't know, maybe turn it off. But I had some thoughts after, and these are my personal thoughts. But I asked her when we were at the Rainbow Bar and Grill, I said, hey, how are you feeling? Because I can imagine as like I get overwhelmed and I get sensory overload and like, being in a place like small, like the Rainbow and just, she's 75 and she has so much experience. How many times has she sat and had that vegetable casserole at the Rainbow? How many amazing conversations? How many amazing nights of shows did she go to? And how do you keep them all in one? And then to tell them to an audience where maybe some of your friends who have passed aren't there, that those emotions didn't necessarily come out. And when I asked her that question, she said, "Thank you for asking me, honey." And if you're listening, Pam, I was genuine when I asked you, because I think, like we were talking about before, it's so easy to get caught up in what you have to do. So she knows she has to perform, bring her merch, talk to people before and after. There'll be a certain buffer, and then she gets to go home, right? Everybody has an idea of what the night sort of looks like, right? But I think I've been thinking a lot about how she feels about that evening after, and about all the different people, like when she brought out, like, the castings of different people, and like, her friend just passing away, and like, just I think I thought about how that would feel if that were me, and talking to all these young girls like Kate and Sharice who are like, "We love you," but it's like all my other buds are gone. And I think
PTOs are gone.
and I think it's important, if you're, whatever you're going through in life, whether you're, just killing it, or maybe you're killing it and maybe you had a really shit day, or you're really nervous that shit's going to fall through. Like, I think it's really important just to think about what's gone on in life, and to reach out to someone that, that you love, even if you're feeling like shit, and just tell them that you're thinking about them. And because we don't know, like, I don't, like, God forbid something ever were to happen to Sharice, but I think that that's why we're so set on building these memories and producing this show and connecting with so many people who are going through success and tragedy and getting their first record deals, and they're helping their moms with like it. There's so many layers to the onion, and as much as we love to talk about music,
It's attached to the music is stories about real life.
And it's life's deep cuts.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. And that's a good point. Like the whole time we had the privilege of meeting Lindsay Parker, who recently released a book that she wrote with Miss Mercy, Miss Pamela's best friend and former GTO bandmate. And I remember when that book came out, and right before it came out, Miss Mercy had passed, and I remember Pamela posting just in shock and all this stuff, and it just made me. And just the idea of when you ask that question, realizing Mercy would have been there. She probably would have been on the stage.
She would have been on the stage, yeah.
And and the idea of having that long of a friendship, they met when they were 18, 19, and throughout their entire lives, Mercy had a very different life, but that friendship, and it just.
And I think that that's what we're going through. I don't know, we have a lot of people that listen all different ages of the show, but you've likely lost someone that you love, and you're likely going to get to an age where it happens more often. And I think just sharing stories about real history and real things that happened in rock and roll, and how music can affect our lives and each other, and sharing that with each other, and taking a trip from St. John to Toronto to LAX, that logistic is what creates the memory. And I think whether that's just going out with your bud for a double on the beach tomorrow, or sitting down, maybe recording a show about your band that's doing, I think it's just get out and do shit with your buds, because life's too short. And I think that's a big part of why we want to just get back to recording all the time, and remembering why we do this, because this is our time with each other and with you.
Yes.
And I
agree. I was I concur. I was I can't add on that.
I concur. No, and I just, again, I want to say thank you to everybody who is tuned in, who has watched, who, supports our show. I know our parents are likely listening.
Watching on Rogers
my grandmom, Catherine, I love you so much, Nana Kay. Our friends, our colleagues, our past colleagues, stakeholders, sponsors, the show is growing, and we honestly couldn't do it without you, or the engagement that you give to the platforms in which the show is on. So it's really wild to see. And, we'll give you another example of that. Paulette Gadet, if you're listening. So we were at the Jim Cuddy and Son show last week at Area 506, and we were down there, just kind of doing our thing, and we could tell there was a lady, and she was kind of gesturing she was going to come over to talk to us, and we're thrilled. We'll talk to anybody. And she came over, and she almost knocked me right over with this ego boost, but she was like, "Oh my goodness, would you guys mind if I got a picture? Me and my daughter listened to your show." And, Sharice and I genuinely both teared right up, because we're just not used to that. And we're not used to it happening more regularly, where people ask us for these things, or they will reach out from other platforms or things like that. So like, and we hooked her up with some merch and stuff, and it's just been so cool.
It's
like
so surreal because we just come on here and shoot the shit, right? And talk to people. And it's often sometimes you feel like so siloed.
Yeah.
Or like, we hang out with our friends who know we do the show and they're frog on the
Bye.
run.
Yeah.
Bye. You just yeeted on my lap. So, like our circle of friends, our network that kind of know whatever, but interacting with people who we may not know or meeting for the first time that listen to us and continue to listen to us, and people like have like the border guard, like,
yeah.
that we,
And here's the thing, like when we ask, like, what do you want us to talk about? Do you want to be on the show? Do you know an amazing record collector? Is there a band that you just like are like, we need an interview with them in Strange Grooves? We want to hear about it. We're figuring it all out too, even on year 6. And I think for us, like a part of our now core business in our full-time life is running a marketing agency that does podcasting, that does content creation. And unfortunately, some of our projects do sometimes fall by the wayside, but we're not going to do that to you.
We love you too much.
We love you too much. And, it's important for us to, like be there for each other and to be there for our audience that we've built. So if you have questions, like I actually ran into, from Jay, Hammond River Collective today, and he's on this street now, actually.
Oh, sweet. He's our neighbor.
And he was asking me, he's like, how is California? Like, it looks so sick. And I was like, man, we'll talk to you about California anytime. And I was telling him, he's like, oh, that, like, it must have been like crazy. And I was like, it wasn't. I was like, but it is, like, you can go for, and he didn't realize you could go for that. Cause like, I always thought it would be a couple $1,000s. And sometimes it is, but you can get it relatively cheap, right? Yeah. And when I say cheap, I just mean, you might have to save for, a little while to.
It's not like a flare flight or anything like
no,
that.
Like $1,000 is still a lot of money, but I'm just saying, like, it's attainable, right? Yeah. And you can go, like, you can do it, and you should do it. And if rock and roll is your thing, like, you should definitely go check it out.
And Pamela's Rock Tour.
Rock Tour, her writing workshops, like her books. If you're a vintage lover, honestly, please follow Miss Pamela Des Barres, because if there's something that you're looking for, maybe it's polyester pleated pink floral pants.
Unreal, her selection.
She has everything, and she has a lot of different sizing and things literally from the 50s, 60s, 70s, all authentic. And she still buys things today. Almost too many things, but that's what a thrifter does. If our friend Kristen has a closet the same, where she curates and styles for people, and that's essentially Miss Pamela, right? And if you're looking for something, you should DM her if her items aren't on her website. She has thousands of items, and there's only, I think, ever like a dozen at a time. But if you're looking for something, maybe it's a powder blue long sleeve one piece beautiful dress, she likely has it and can ship it to you.
Yeah, and she has sales at her home in Rosita that you can book. So if you go to LA, you could probably book it around there. But I think it's what's so interesting about, and we were like in the collection, like we pretty much saw everything.
Yeah, we were in.
And what I so love about, and what makes Pamela so unique, is she, like, thrifting is in her DNA, like, since she was a girl. And it also was a huge part of her aesthetic, like with the GTOs, like her group that Frank Zappa put together. It was all them. That's what they did. They took like garments from the 1940s, which is like only 40 years ago, in the 60s, and they like cut them up and sewed and all this crazy stuff. And you look at the creation she did, and like Miss Christine, and they're like just so wild. And seeing like people that she's like dressed up and stuff on social, like you can see she still brings that eye, and the things she puts together is like, it's so cool. So definitely check her out. And also on her website too is all of her books, including her second book. I know this is something she's like, more people need to know about the second book. It's true. Yeah. So there's the sequel to I'm with the Band called Take Another Little Piece of My Heart, A Groupie Grows Up. And it really picks up from like where she marries Michael Des Barres, who is awesome, by the way, awesome gentleman. And talks about their marriage, the good times, the rough times, coming of age, like, you know what I mean? Going really into adulthood and, aging kind of out of that scene and all that stuff. It's so good. And definitely worth a read.
Oh yeah. 100%. And a big shout out to, Nicole and Danny.
Yes.
Phenomenal
Your
people.
Canada dolls love you.
Seriously. We love you so much. Just amazing people, like really, really like hospitable, amazing. Just like Sheila was awesome. Like just everybody there was so great. It was just a really, really wild time. but we want to save some for part 2 with Anna.
Yeah,
because that's going to be where the real tea is. Like when we went out to like the Abbey, the big gay bar, and like, you know, we were out dancing and like, you know, being crazy and having a little puff out on the Venice Beef board. All the things. We did all the things, and we can't wait to tell you more about it.
More to come.
And I think right now would be a great time just to do a quick shout out to our Patreon people, because this is the time, guys.
Do we have the scroll? Oh, she has the scroll.
The scroll.
Okay.
Are we ready?
We're ready. Okay. Hear ye, hear ye. Special thank you to Matt Letson.
Colin Walshoots. I like looking at the camera.
Okay. You went into opposite order. So, all right. Michael Hawkins, a.k.a. DJ Hawk.
James Mullinger. We love you so much.
Corey McGill.
Hold on. Chuck Healy. I like making it like a dashboard confessional. Like, look. Who's next?
Mary Roach.
Shout out to Ray Roach Service Center, our newest marketing client.
They're the best.
Listen, music, going on the road with the car, road trips. Listen, you got to have your car in check, man. So listen, we are thrilled to have Mary on board, and we're thrilled to have her business on board as well. So if you need some help with your car, which listen, winter is coming up.
Winter is coming.
Please make sure to give Mary a call, because they're badass. They race cars and shit. And where else are you going to go?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Your dealer? Like, come on. They'll just gouge you. Yeah. So anyways, Glenn Hicks at U Station. We friggin' love you, bud.
Yeah.
We're thrilled. Best. We're thrilled. We were at U Station all day. What was it? Yesterday? It was blending together now.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Best meeting space.
Co-working
space. Space to get
people think away. We're legit when we're in there. So
precisely.
Big thank you to Glenn. He rocks.
Brent Harris of the St. John Tool Library.
Brennan Parker. Thank you so much.
Jennifer Irving.
Greg Hemmings.
John, Adam, Ian.
Oh my God, we love you so much. Dee Dee Keel, who, if you're wondering, yes, Kate and Sharice met Dee Dee last time in California, but she was unable to meet us. But next time, Dee Dee, if you're listening, we love you, and we hope to see you soon.
Heart. And finally, last but not least,
ready? Kate McKenzie.
Kate McKenzie.
Thank you. We love you. We also have your menthol smokes from our last U.S. trip. So if you're listening and you need your menthol smokes, they're in my drawer.
We have it. Oh, yeah. She hasn't gotten those yet?
No, I got the goods, bud.
Oh, well, shit. Okay. Well,
if you need a menthol smoke.
I don't. I'm not drunk enough yet. And give me a couple more White Claws.
But if you did.
If I did, I know. Now I know where to go.
Anyway. I have all the stash. I still have my go bag from 2020 packed. So
yeah, no, if there's a zombie apocalypse, end of the world, like I'm coming right upstairs.
I am ready. Mm-hmm. I know where all the tunnels are. I know what's going on.
Yeah, no, I'd probably be dead weight, but you're stuck with me because I'm your bestie.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you all so much. I hope everyone stays safe, healthy, take care of yourself, listen to music, enjoy the ride, and until next time,
keep it strange.
Keep it strange.
Cheers, me ho. Until next week.
I was like, don't spill the White Claw on the machine.
If you've enjoyed this, then you have to hit strangegrooves.com for more amazing content. To support this podcast and music community, go to patreon.com/strangegrooves. As always, keep it strange.